believe you may have heard people say, "Why are you judging me?" Or, "Why do you judge me?" Or maybe some people would tell Christians, "Jesus says, do not judge, so don't judge me." Let us think about this for a moment. What does judge mean in the first place? Why are people telling others not to judge them? Why do people dislike being judged? Do you like being judged? Stay with me and we'll look at what judging is and also why people would say, "Don't judge me." If I were to ask you today, do you like to be judged? I believe the quick response I would get is, "No, of course not. Of course I do not want to be judged. Who wants to be judged anyway?" I would think that we felt something when we experienced what we call being judged. And how did someone judge you? Maybe they called you fat and you felt judged. Or they called you stupid or ignorant and then mock you. Or some people would use unkind words calling and labeling others. And oftentimes, this is what happens when people feel all these feelings when they have been judged by others. But let us ask ourselves, when we go into a court of law, there is a judge. And the judge will make a judgment. Will the judge call the accused, "You fat and stupid ignorant man, useless fella you"? I would guess the judge would quite unlikely be saying that. But what the judge does is to stick to facts presented to make his judgments. And there is little or no emotion for the judge in giving the verdict. And after hearing all the evidence presented, the judge will determine if the person is guilty or not. Judging is based on what is factual. But when people say words like, "You fat, stupid, and ignorant man, you will never succeed in this," they are not really judging, but it is putting the person down, making the person feel small or useless or unwanted. And it does not feel good to go through that. For lack of a better way to describe this, let me call this condemning and the feelings of being condemned. And we feel that we are being condemned by the person who said these things to us. Now, there is a difference between judging and what we call condemning. If judging is with little or no emotions involved, the feelings of being condemned, however, involves emotions. Maybe the person who is condemning another person is sneering or mocking at him. Maybe he feels superior and wants to make the person he is condemning feel small and useless and unwanted. Now, if we take a step back and look at this situation, the person who is condemning another person is a person who has problems. Maybe he wants to feel superior. Maybe he feels better about himself by making himself look better than others, in making others look worse than he. Maybe he abuses his power and authority and he has a warped sense of enjoying putting others down. And there can be many other reasons why someone would do that. But if we take a step back and look at the situation, the person who condemns others may have issues he needs to deal with. So that is condemning, but judging is different. Let's take, for example, that a woman is caught in adultery, and it is a verified fact already. Judging would be stating the fact that the woman was in adultery, and in a court of law, the judge pronounces that woman is guilty of adultery. But condemning would be calling the woman a prostitute and telling others that she's a whore. And those who are condemning this woman will go around and spread the news of what she has done. And they want other people who know this woman to despise her or make her feel rejected. Do you see how judging and condemning is different? Now let's say a man was caught in adultery and his wife filed for divorce and they appear before a judge in the court of law. And the judge looks at the evidence and judges that the man is guilty of adultery. And this man may be remorseful for what he has done, and inside him he feels guilt and shame. And he may not be even able to face his children about what he has done. The judge declared the man guilty, but the man feels guilt and shame. And because emotions are involved with the person being judged as guilty, he experienced the feelings of being condemned even though the judge did not condemn him, but simply declared a verdict. What is possibly happening is that the man condemns himself for having committed adultery and feels the guilt and shame. And that could be where the feelings of being condemned come from the man himself. Sometimes, some people may be stating a fact about what we did, and because we feel the guilt and shame of what we did, we have felt condemned within ourselves, and we associate how we feel with what was said to us. And when we associate the feelings of being condemned with the factual stating of what has happened to us, which is judging, then we kind of feel that judging is being condemned. And because we do not like how we feel when those facts were stated, we then tell the person, "Why are you judging me? Don't judge me." So we need to learn to weigh what others are saying. Are they stating a factual piece of information, which is judging, or are they putting us down, which is condemning? Let us look at another situation. Let's say that I am medically obese with a BMI of more than 30. Someone may come to me and say, "I see that you are obese and I am very concerned about your health." Did the person condemn you? No. But if you feel condemned by what the person said, then it is something happening inside you that you need to look at and deal with. What about a second person who comes and says, "Hey fatso, you look like the Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters. At this rate you're going to die young of a heart attack, loser." Did the person condemn you? Yes. And the person who said these words to you sure has a problem he needs to deal with. So the next time we have the feelings of being condemned, pause. Take a step back. Where are these emotions coming from? What did the person actually say to me? And if the person is factual and is concerned, then you know you have someone who is looking out for you. Thank you for coming and listening to these messages here at the 14th Disciple. If you would do me a favor, could you hit like and subscribe to my sharing and channel? It would help me to get this channel out and what I'm sharing to others. Once again, thank you. And until next time, be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Be blessed, my friends.